Right on. Okay, so I'm going to pin mine this time. Right on. Okay, guys, so for our shadow work and gratitude call today, right on. Thank you, Marcos. Just want to remind everybody that these calls are a co-creation. These are not meant to just be lectures. Vulnerability is the currency of relationships. That's the name of the game in these community calls. So please, always, the floor is yours as much as it's mine. And thank you, everybody, for bringing your unique energy into our recipe. That's what I'm going to start calling now. Our recipe for these calls. I like it. You like that one, Megan? Right on. That's good. That one landed. People like that. The recipe. Yeah, nice. So these calls, the past couple months, the shadow work and gratitude has been very much shadow work, and we've been squeezing in gratitude, like we've been squeezing in the top of that double breath. We've been getting just a sip of it. So today we're going to be bringing a lot more focus to gratitude, because gratitude is actually a superpower. So for our practice today, I'm going to bring awareness to why gratitude is a superpower. And gratitude is a superpower without awareness. But when you actually have the awareness of what gratitude does, applicable, scientific-based gratitude, it's another one of the bridges of science and spirituality, and it is an actual superpower. And so I'm going to get a little sciencey here with you guys today. It's going to be really fun. This is some of my favorite things to talk about. And we're going to talk about, it kind of incorporates the shadow work a little bit, because shadow work is really when we're or the shadow rather, is when we're not necessarily operating at our highest self. Maybe when we feel anxious, or when we feel angry, or when we feel sad or frustrated or impatient, and any single negative emotion, that then is the shadow that we get to work on later and alchemize. So what we're going to talk about is what's going on while we're experiencing these negative emotions: fear, shame, guilt, like we always talk about. And so there's a few things at play. There's two things going on in the brain and one thing that's happening within our body. And I'm going to talk about all three of these today, because based off of who you are or the situation that you're in, you'll be able to catch one of these three things happening, and then you'll be able to take yourself out of these negative states that you enter. So we're going to talk off, and just quickly, because we do deep dive into this in our Courage program in Human Potential Academy, and we would take up the entirety of the program. The recipe today, if I spoke about it in depth, so I'm just going to touch on it briefly. So from a neuroscientific standpoint, in our brain, there's a part of our brain that's called the limbic system. Okay, the limbic system, to really sum it up, is responsible for a few things, but for the context of today, it's one of its primary functions is emotional regulation and the fight or flight response. Okay, it's responsible for a pile of other things, the big chunk of your brain, but for today, emotions and fight or flight response. There's a part in the limbic system, it's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is really that fight or flight response. Now, what happens in Human Potential Academy, we call it an amygdala hijack. So what's going on? Why do we call it a hijack? Because we have this very nifty part of our brain, the front part here, the neo and the prefrontal cortex. They call this the CEO of the brain. This is the part of our brain that makes us not animal. So what are some of the things it allows us to do? It allows us to regulate our emotions. It allows us to plan long-term planning. It allows us to strategize. A whole bunch of other really nifty things. They're called executive functions. Okay. So the prefrontal cortex, just think of it like this right now. We're going to use we'll use a relationship as the example, because this is the easiest example for us to use. If you're getting in a fight in a relationship, right? What happens is your amygdala, the fight or flight response, gets activated. And it shuts off the prefrontal cortex. It shuts off, like literally, it turns off the tap. There's no electricity or energy going, no power. Turns off the power to your prefrontal cortex. And so we think, like, why? That doesn't really make sense. Why would our defense response be to shut off our long-term planning? That doesn't seem like a very efficient tool. seems like a downfall. And the reason for this is because our limbic system was designed to keep us alive in life-threatening situations. So when a lion is running at you, ready to kill you, the limbic system turns on, you get adrenaline, you get all these nifty things that are going to keep you alive when the lion's coming to attack you. Now, unfortunately, we evolved forward, and our brain hasn't quite figured out yet that when someone is challenging our belief system or disagreeing with us, we're getting in a fight, the limbic system activates just like a life-threatening situation. So if you're talking with your partner, you're getting in a dispute, and you guys are yelling at each other, your amygdala has shut off your prefrontal cortex. Your partner's yelling at you, they don't even have literally, there's no power going to the part of the brain that provides them with the ability to think rationally and plan long term. So you might as well stop, because you're pretty much just yelling at a distraught animal. That's pretty much what you're doing. And so why does this happen? Because in the hierarchy of things that matter, what matters is not getting killed by the lion, right? Your brain doesn't need long-term planning if you're about to get eaten by a lion. That's not going to be much use, right? You're going to get killed by this predator. I don't need to think about what's going to happen long-term tomorrow. I need to not die right now. Now, unfortunately, we haven't quite figured out that a disagreement with our partner is not an actual life-threatening situation. Okay, so that's the first little tidbit. I know that was quite sciencey, but does anyone have any questions immediately about that aspect? I'm going to definitely ground this in my next two talking points. Anyone questions? Neuroscience, amygdala? No? Good. We're all following along here. Good. Anyone like lost control of themselves in an argument with a loved one, and then like 3 hours later come down to reality and been like, what the fuck? Like, been like, what was that? What was that? Who was that? What those things that I said. Everyone? Yeah? Raise our hands, do a reaction. Me, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, cool. So good. We've all been there. The good news is there's ways to recognize and actually prevent this from happening. So there's another response that we feel in our bodies. And I've become so attuned with this whole like one thing triggers the other chain reaction that I actually feel in my body when I'm having an amygdala hijack. And like Selena and Bay and Brian can attest to it. They've watched me do it. They've watched me be like mid amygdala hijack, like Aries fire all over the place. People are screaming, oh my God. And then I've been like, oh, I can feel it. And I'm able to I can self-regulate. I can catch what's going on, and I can actually self-soothe myself in the moment. And the more you do it, the sooner you do it. And how I feel that is because of the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. Have you guys heard of those two things before? Sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous systems, getting a lot of nods. Yeah. Everybody? A lot of nods? Right on. All right, cool. Everybody? Mara?
Not me.
I'm just kidding. That's funny. Okay, so Mara, parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is the part of your nervous system that's activated when you're resting and digesting. Parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is activated when you're I used to have really good things for this. When you're fighting and exercising and roar. So your sympathetic nervous system is when you're roaring and you're doing stuff and you're activated. And then the sympathetic one is when you're cooling, calming down. Okay. So I can actually feel it in between my heart chakra and my solar plexus. I get this tight feeling when my sympathetic nervous system is in full swing and the cortisol is coursing through my body, and I can actually feel it in my body, and I'm like, oh, okay, amygdala is definitely getting hijacked right now. And so our sympathetic nervous system gets hit with something, and this can be a literal strike to your body, and you go, ah, and that will trigger this fight or flight response. It can trigger this fight or flight response. The final point is about brainwaves. And so this is my favorite topic ever, brainwaves. I love it so much. This is the bridge between spirituality and science. And then I'm going to show you guys how gratitude is the ultimate like wind down. It'll take you out of your animal brain, put you into your God brain. So for brainwaves, we have a whole bunch of, they're classified in bands. So different frequencies are classified in different types of bands. There's tons, but we're only going to talk about 4 today. Okay? The first one and the most easy one to comprehend is delta brainwave. It's when you're asleep. So when you're in delta brainwave, you're asleep. It's real slow delta brainwave. Okay? That's sleep, deep sleep especially. Next one, and again, you guys are getting the bite-sized of this right now. I could talk about this for hours. I have talked about this for hours. The next one up is theta. Okay, so theta is deep states of meditation. It is the best place to consciously reprogram your subconscious mind. This is where they'll drop you in for hypnotherapy. They'll drop you down into theta brainwave, and then they'll reprogram you in there. It can be 20 years of talk therapy or 2 seconds of theta brainwave, and you can unprogram or program something in an instant. It's obviously not that easy, or we would all be perfect human beings, but it is possible. Final fun fact about theta brainwave: children from the age of 2 to 7 are in theta brainwave. Theta brainwave is the programming brainwave. Then we hit 8, and we're like, perfect. I'm 7 years old now. I've got the program to run for the rest of my life. I'm set, and we run that program for the rest of our life until we become adults and start destroying our relationships from all the traumas that we got. So, right? So crazy. The brain. It's like, yeah, I survived till 7. Perfect. Let's just do that for the next 100 years. It'll work. I'm sure it'll work. What could go wrong? The other two, and these are the two that we are, there's a lot more. There's gamma, there's technically mu and epsilon, blah, blah, blah. But the other two are alpha and beta, okay? Alpha brainwave is your superhuman superpower brainwave. You get downloads from God in alpha brainwave. When does the average person enter alpha brainwave? The shower. It's the classic. I got downloads in the shower today. Just got down, like the best ideas came to me in the shower. It's like you were just an alpha brainwave. Other times when people enter alpha brainwave, driving a car, just gonna decompress. Just gotta decompress, go for a drive, right? You're entering alpha brainwave state. So alpha brainwave state is what the greats describe as being in the present moment. Present moment is alpha brainwave state. This is where Kobe Bryant is scoring 52 points, 54 points, 57 points. He's not thinking about his fight with his wife. He's not thinking about his kid's lunch the next day. He's totally in the moment. Athletes call it being in the zone. Alpha brainwave, yep, exactly. Mindfulness, exactly, Mara. So mindfulness is definitely like an alpha brainwave state because you're in the moment, you're tuning into your body. When we're doing those double breaths, we'll be getting down into an alpha brainwave state because we're not thinking about anything else. When we're in the breath hold, right? Even then, what are we thinking about? Man, I really want to breathe right now. But you're talking about right now. You're not thinking about the breath you're going to be taking in 20 minutes. You're in the present moment. A lot can be said about alpha brainwave. It's where Elon Musk is operating a lot of the time, and he does a lot of like really impossible stuff all the time. And so that's a big part of our course in Courage. We incorporate divine masculine, divine feminine, flow state, time management. There's a few equations and awareness practices and systems that you can put into place to maintain a low beta or an alpha brainwave state. So beta brainwave. Final little tidbit here, and then we're going to do a couple activities. Beta brainwave, we can put into 3 classifications: high beta, mid beta, and low beta. Low beta is where you all are right now and where I am right now. When you're in a low beta brainwave state, it's typically when you're learning or when you're teaching. And what I want to invite you to do right now is just feel your body. You feel how your body, you can feel your parasympathetic nervous system activated right now. You're chilling, absorbing the knowledge. Awesome. This is cool stuff. Brain waves. We're hanging out right now. We're not anxious. We're just chilling. Low beta. Feel your body. Feel it, right? It feels good. It feels chill. Mid beta is when we're doing stuff. Like, think about your to-do list right now. What's all that shit you got to do? You feel that? Boom. Feel it in your body. Feel how you went to mid beta, maybe even high beta. Oh shit, I got shit to do. Feels yucky, right? Just like that. You can change your brainwave state. You can feel it in your body. Now, mid beta brainwave is like you wake up and you're like, what should I wear today? Mid beta. Oh, I got to do laundry. Mid beta. So beta brainwave has been kind of getting a bad rap, but beta brainwave is when we're doing stuff. We got shit to do, we're doing stuff, we're in beta brainwave, all good. Now, high beta brainwave is where you get sick. Dis-ease lives in high beta brainwave. You don't get sick in alpha brainwave, by the way. You just don't get sick. High beta brainwave is negative emotion. Any negative emotion, fear, guilt, shame, wrath, worry, anxiety, you name it, negative thoughts, high beta brainwave state. Like, when I think back into like my memories of like getting into a fight with my relationship, the memory seems like this. It's like I'm in the memory and I'm like trying to like operate it, and it's like like when I think about it, and then I'll think about like times where I was in like an alpha brainwave state, and the memory seems like calm and like chill. And so there are ways to take yourself out of high beta brainwave. And this is the key. There's really only 3 ways to be in high beta brainwave. 1, you're looking to the past. That's something you cannot change, with regret. I regret that happening. I wish that didn't happen. Poor me. I'm such a victim of my past. I did something embarrassing. But you're looking back at something you have no control over that happened, the past. Or you're looking forward, this one's my favorite, at a hypothetical situation that has a negative outcome that isn't going to happen. How many times have you been wrong, right? Planning some negative future. Oh my goodness. And it doesn't even go that way. Like, you're wrong about that. I'm wrong when I'm planning these negative hypotheticals. Realistically, right? We can agree to that. We're wrong when we're actually planning these things. We're worriers. We're dramatic, right? And we go into all these things: anxiety, worry, fear, and we're wrong. That's actually what's really helped me, is I just recognize how wrong I am about these things. I'm like, look, the data's in. I'm not good at predicting negative futures. The other form is in the present moment, and this comes in the form of self-deprecating talk, which we've spoke about a lot, especially doing the shame game. So when you're looking yourself in the mirror and you're like, you suck, you're in high beta brainwave, right? Because that's a negative emotion. So we can look at the past and be like, I can't change it. We can look at the future and be like, it's kind of an illusion and I'm probably wrong anyways. And then we can look in the present moment and give ourselves some compassion. So it's kind of like, what comes first? Sympathetic nervous system triggers the amygdala, which triggers a high beta brainwave state. The negative thought comes in. We're worrying about the future. We go into high beta brainwave. The amygdala shuts off our prefrontal cortex. Our sympathetic nervous system is activated. All of these things kind of trigger the other one. But when it comes to, I guess, what I call brainwave therapy, which is just awareness of these things, all this talk about traumas and who you were as a child and all these things, they don't matter when it comes to brainwave therapy, because what matters is the present moment right now. And keep this in mind, I talk about trauma all the time, and we talk about it all the time, because it's super important to know the series of events that made you who you are. It's good to know that, right? But eventually it's like, we get it. It's like, we fucking get it. This trauma happened to you and it made you who you are and it left this mark on you. We get it. I've got them. Brian's got them. Bay's got them. We've all got them. How much are we going to keep talking about that, right? We get it. That's what happened. Let's talk about the present moment. Oh, this thing happened to me in childhood, and now you're triggering it. It's like, who cares? In the moment, I'm in high beta brainwave. Let's regulate it in this moment. How do we do that? A few different ways. There's three super powerful ways. One, the double breath, which we all love. Let's do one together right now because we're really in our mind right now. Big breath in. A little more. Hold it. And make a sound. Feel that change in your body. We're gonna do one more. One more. Feel that change? One more. Big breath in. A little more. Hold it. Relax your shoulders and feel that change in your body just like that. Nice. It feels good, right? We can change our brain waves just like that. The other way is through gratitude. And this is a freaking hack. I'll tell you guys how ridiculous this is. When I first learned about brainwaves, it was like I was steeping myself in this study of brainwaves. I had a mentor, and I got stabbed in the back by a business partner that I'd worked with for 3 years. And he had benefited immensely from the amount of sacrifice that I gave him, only for me to find out he'd been lying and doing a whole bunch of other finesse, snaky things behind my back. Right as I'm learning about brainwaves, right? So I'm entering Mr. Wrathful high beta brainwave. I'm planning this guy's demise, like you can't believe it. And I'm spiritual, so I know it's destroying me at the same time. And so I'm practicing these things. And I would go way up into this like crazy evil place. And then through just simple gratitude, wind myself down. And it's so ridiculous that you can literally say to yourself, I'm so grateful I have two hands. I'm so grateful that both of my lungs work and I can take big, deep, beautiful double breaths. I'm so grateful for this person. I'm so grateful for this person. I'm so grateful both my eyes work. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And you can do that, speak it out loud. You can think it, but speaking it really helps. And you will take yourself out of your negative state. Whether you're wrathful from being betrayed, whether you're afraid of being betrayed, whether you just got in a fight with your loved one, no matter what it is, this is going to be our homework this week. We'll follow up with it on Monday and Thursday. You're going to do some gratitude when, not if, when you enter a high beta brainwave state. And that's anything negative. And I would be super stoked if you did some ridiculous gratitude stuff, right? Like Dev could be like, I'm so grateful for this black shirt that I got on. It's awesome. I'm so grateful that I'm moving to Edmonton. I'm so grateful that I started the Courage program, right? Anything. And it'll work. You'll calm yourself down. It's an actual superpower. So before I pass it over to Brian, and he's going to really show you the power of gratitude, I'm going to run you through a simple exercise, and I want you to tune into your body, because feeling into that sympathetic nervous system is the easiest way to catch the amygdala hijack or the high beta brainwave. Usually using our mind as the tool to catch the mind's shortcoming is pretty hard, but you can use the other tool you got, the body. So tune into your body, and we're just going to include some things in the chat here. Name some things in nature that you're grateful for. Some things in nature. I'm grateful for birds, actually. I love birds. Grateful for birds. Birds are awesome. Okay. Chipmunks and birds. Yeah. I'm grateful for flowers. I'm grateful for the view of the Vancouver Mountains. Grateful for the fresh air and the trees. Let's go a little deeper. Why are you grateful for these things? Grateful for mountains, trees, moss, ocean, ferns. Nice. Ferns are awesome. Love ferns. They're so cool. They're the most ancient plant. Fun fact. Grateful for fresh air, mountaintop views, silence, blue, clear water, feeling of freshness because they bring me to a peaceful state. Yeah. I'm grateful for birds because they're freaking dinosaurs. Let's go, right? Nice. I love that, Rosanna. Grateful for trees because they represent the air in my lungs. Yeah, if you look at a tree and you look at alveoli, they look the exact same, exchanging gases. Super cool. Grateful for these things because when I see them, I'm inspired. It brings me back to center. Feel how you feel, right now, just for that little thing. Said I'm grateful for birds and my day's better. And now this is the one that always gets me when I do my gratitude in the morning. This is the thing that gets me. Name some people you're grateful for. And you can write it if you want. You can think about it if you want. Think of some people that you're grateful for. It's almost hard to type it, right? It's almost hard to type it. It's like, how long do we have? Think about how blessed you are. Your list of people that you're grateful for is like too big for you to type. You ain't got time to type it. It's the hack. The hack that we have are the amazing people we have in our life. And we actually all have an abundance of them. You're feeling down about yourself, you're feeling worried about your relationship, you're feeling whatever, insecure about your body, like scared of your money situation, the freaking government is up to its nonsense, you're going to a high beta brainwave place. Just take a second, count your blessings, and be grateful for the people in your life. And now the final trick that I'll tell you guys to really take this to the next level before I pass it to Brian is be aware that you're using gratitude to take yourself out of a high beta brainwave state. When you bring the awareness, I am applying this gratitude like a tool. I'm wielding it to control my life. I'm wielding it to control my state. It amplifies its power. And so I'm gonna, wow, look at all these things. Oh my goodness.
It was
Yeah.
when we talked about my experience through Brian's breath work, and I was like, whoa, I was crying, I was like going crazy, I was wrestling on the ground, and I'm like leaning into it. I'm like, okay, this is an emotional wave, do it, just like feel it all. And then eventually that pain separated from like my human self and my conscious self, and my conscious self was looking at my human self and was like, wow, so much pain, that's great. And then the pain transitioned into like this light feeling, and it was like I was still crying, but I was like, why is it so much lighter? What is this feeling? And I was like in complete awe, and I was like, wow, I'm amazed at life. I'm amazed at myself. I'm like, what is this? Is this gratitude? Is this real gratitude? And then when I spoke with Matt later, we figured out that he had a similar experience where we're grateful for ourselves for doing this work. And so, yeah, bring that light back towards yourself, reflect it back towards yourself. Be grateful for how much energy you put into the day, for carving out this time for yourself, for knowing to slow down when you need to slow down, and really feel into that. Oh wow, I'm honoring my body. Wow, if I treat my body like a friend, like wow, my body is so thankful for me. And so just a reminder that you don't have to be grateful for everything that's outside of you. You
Yeah.
can also for yourself.
Amazing. Thank you so much for bringing that back, Selena. Because like everyone on here, everyone will catching the recording, watching this right now. It's like think about all the people that aren't entering containers like this and taking care of themselves. Like they're actually living in a continual chaotic, deprecating state. But you aren't. Like you're in here, you're actually doing that work. It's like when you look at it like that, it's like you're in the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the people on the planet. Like so much to be grateful for everybody on here, like as yourself. Like you're doing the work. That's like, wow. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that, Selena. That was awesome. Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. All right. Yeah, that was right on. It's a perfect transition, actually. That's like a perfect segue into Brian. Thank you, Selena.
So good, Selena. Oh my goodness. So powerful. All right, everyone. I'm gonna take you on a little journey as I usually do. Matt, could I do my music? That's cool.
See.
But while we organize this, get yourself comfortable laying down. This is gonna be a lay down process. We're gonna do some breathing, and I'm gonna guide you. Oh, it's not working, Matt. And while we're figuring this out, oh yeah, perfect. Thanks, Matt. Something that Matt mentioned about the witnessing of gratitude itself. Sometimes we look outside of ourselves for the things we need, but when you come to recognize there's always something that's observing your process, right? Consciousness itself. So when you step into that state, which we're going to try to do now, there's a lot of amazing things that come into awareness because there's the mind, but consciousness is witnessing the mind's process. And that's how we can refine ourselves into more gratitude or whatever it is that we're wanting to seek. But as I find some music, get yourself even more comfortable and know that throughout this process, you are in control, that you have the ability to move whenever you feel like you need to move. You can make yourself even more comfortable throughout this process. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And if you haven't done so already, maybe you can just close your eyes. We will do some breathing so that we can get a bit more into the feels, into the body. And then we're just going to go through a process of moving gratitude throughout the body and allowing its healing force, or I should say healing power, to work through the body. And if you don't know what that means, that's totally fine. Just remember that your awareness towards things, your attention, has a very nurturing, healing quality to it. And the way that you really enact that power is through the belief, knowing that you have the tools to bring yourself into a higher state or more powerful, connected, grateful state. It really is that simple. Let's breathe a little bit to get into the body. I'm just going to do some deep breaths in and out, conscious connected breathing. So I invite you to take a nice deep breath in through your mouth. Exhale, let it go. Let's breathe together. Nice deep breath in. Exhale. Full breath in and relax. Nice deep breath. Exhale. Full breath in and just let it go. And you know what to do now. Keep that breath moving, just allowing yourself to gently get into your rhythm. And for a moment, just allow yourself to kind of get lost in the rhythm of your breathing. Maybe just forgetting everything you know about breathing. Imagine for a moment, right here and now, that this is the first time you're feeling yourself breathe. And what a wonder that would be. How amazing it is to feel the sensation of air traveling through your nose, down in your throat, expanding into your abdomen and your ribs. And then as you relax, the air just naturally, smoothly, organically moves out. Take a moment to revel in this process, this micro expression of life itself as you breathe it in and let it go. Just continuing to connect those inhales and exhales. Starting to feel now perhaps that the rhythm of breathing is creating a loop or a wheel or an orbit. Feeling yourself breathe and also feeling yourself connect to the rhythm of every human in this container breathing together. Really good work, everyone. Keep that rhythm of breathing going. We're going to do this for about a minute or more, minute or two more. And with each turning of the breath, imagine now that the mind is starting to shut down, that the awareness of the body starts to amp up. You can imagine your connection to the energy and motion, your emotion starts to become more prominent. Many of you have been coming again and again to these sessions, so this space where there's no words, the space of your emotional body is now a familiar space. And if it still doesn't feel that way, that's okay. Just slowly and surely with each breath, allow yourself to sink a bit deeper into the currents of emotion and sensation. Not needing to change anything, just offering your attention. Beautiful. Final few breaths here. We will do one retention. So making these next few breaths really present, fully aware of every moment of the breath moving in and out. And then finishing your next breath, exhale out, let it go. And take a nice deep full breath in all the way up. And then a big exhale, relax, let it go, and hold the breath. And as you hold your breath, apply a tiny upwards tilt to the mouth. Notice how that feels in the body, just to bring a smile as you hold your breath, connect to your whole system in this state of stillness. There's no word that can really describe this. It's just a feeling, it's just a being, so natural, so familiar. And then with every passing moment, just feel yourself get more comfortable, relax even more. Noticing how easy it is to relax. And we'll breathe again in 3, in 2, in 1. Take a nice deep breath in, nice and slow, full and deep. Hold the breath at the top just for a few moments, feeling that full sensation, the contrast from the empty lungs. This slight surge of energy. And then big exhale, just let it all go. Beautiful work, everyone. Allow your breath now to just come in and out naturally, organically. However that's showing up for you is perfectly fine. Take a moment again to really become aware of the whole sensation of your body. Any tingling, any buzzing, any shifts in body temperature. Before we start this practice of gratitude, I invite you to just imagine with your awareness that you're starting to open this gate, this doorway to the body. Through your attention, imagine that you're communicating to your body that you really want to connect with it. That you really want to hear what it has to say and also offer your own blessing. See if you can just really imagine or feel that receptivity of this body that you're in, the willingness of the body to open and receive you and your attention. And again, there's not a lot of mental effort here, just there's a natural organic process that starts to unfold. It's happening right now with every turning moment. So I invite you now to bring your awareness down into your feet, into the heels, the arches, the toes. And then invite in the sensation of gratitude, of love that Matthew helped us harbor. And send that feeling down into the feet, into the toes. You may feel a sensation moving down, or might not feel anything at all. Just remind yourself of the gift of your feet, how they carry you literally every step of the way through your life, and what a gift it is to have this part of your body. Now allowing the light of your awareness to move a bit up into your ankles, your shins, and your calves, even up into the knees. Paying attention, moving this stream or this sensation of gratitude and love into these parts of your body now. Bringing in that healing energy, letting it do the work. And your part here is just to recognize and maybe ask yourself, when was the last time I felt grateful for my shins, my calves, my knees? My goodness, these parts of my body are amazing. I'm so grateful for them, to have them, to support me. And still allowing the gratitude to pour over you as you shift your awareness now into your thighs, your hamstrings, these very large, powerful muscles, even down into the femur. Feeling the strength of your legs. Letting the love pour in. And again, moving your awareness, shifting the light of your awareness now into your hips, into your buttocks, to your pelvic region, to your root center, sexual organs. Letting the gratitude pour into this part of your body. Thanking these parts of your body. Feeling a sense of reclamation, for these are not our private parts, but our sacred parts. And again, moving the awareness a little higher up into your lower back, to your abdomen. Feeling the internal organs, your kidneys, pancreas, the spleen, the stomach, large and small intestine. Feeling that gratitude, that appreciation for this part of your body. Again, just letting the love pour in through your attention, through your awareness. Slowly but surely allowing your attention and focus to move up into the chest, to your upper back, breathing in through your lungs and feeling the rhythm of your heart. Taking a moment to feel that gratitude for your heart and how it just keeps pumping without any conscious effort. Allowing the awareness now to spread down, first in the shoulders, all the way down the tricep, bicep, your elbow, forearm, hands, and fingers. Paying due gratitude for this part and these parts of your body, and all that your arms are able to offer you. And now moving your awareness into your neck, into your throat, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for your ability to voice yourself, your truth, to create vibration in this experience. And last but most certainly not least, bring your awareness now into your face, your jaw, your cheekbones, the eyes, your beautiful, one-of-a-kind, unique face. Feeling into your ears, sides of your head, the pressure, the light pressure of the back of the head against the pillow or the ground, the top of the head. Now just coming into full awareness of the whole body, saturated in this love and this gratitude, and this love and this gratitude that comes from you. If you leave with anything from this practice, or I hope, is that you remember that this comes from you. Although you're hearing my voice, these feelings and this energy, this healing is from within you. It's always there. It's always been there. And you can always come back to this place. It's always available. Just a couple of deep breaths. Allow your awareness to drop down and you'll find yourself here again. So take just a few more moments to just cement this feeling in your body. To remember that this lives inside of you. And then start to take some deeper breaths so as to communicate to your body that it is time to rise again. I'm going to count you out so that we can bring ourselves back into a more alert state. I'll count down from 5 to 1. And by the time we get to 1, you'll be feeling awake, alert, and in the state that you were in when we started. 5, feeling comfortable, relaxed, safe, easy. 4, noticing some movements in the body, comfortable, safe, relaxed. 3, more awareness, rising up, still comfortable, safe, easy. 2, more awareness in the mind, the eyes starting to brighten, sensation of the body is there, still very comfortable, very safe. And 1, open the eyes, awake, safe, comfortable, and alert. We are just a couple minutes past 7. Take the time you need. Hopefully you're feeling right back to where you were when we started. And as always, I thank you all for your willingness to receive. Thank you very much. Back. Let's see here. I imagine if anyone has to go, of course, that's totally fine. But it's always fun to hear about what the experience was like for you. So if you want to stick around and share a little bit, would love that. Would love that. How's everyone feeling? Excellent. Yes, Selena's doing some plow. I love it.
Yeah, I am definitely dropped into theta brainwave. I might have taken a peek into delta at one point in there too. Had a little sleep, came back in, so that's always a good sign of a regulated nervous system and brain. Yeah, thanks a lot, Brian. You're so good at what you do.
Thanks, man. My pleasure. Yeah, losing my voice here. If anyone sharing, as you guys have heard, I'm sure many a times, I love the shares. They're such a gift. So if anyone wants to share something or something powerful is moving through, oh, someone raised a hand. Yes, Eric, go right forward, brother. And then Mara.
Okay. I just felt a lot of love and appreciation. It's just not so often that you can thank each of your body parts like that, and it just sort of made me reflect on all that I've done today, and just being grateful that I'm able to run, I'm able to run in nature, and all of these things that just when I heard you saying bringing in the love, like I really felt that. I felt that, and I had to actually place my hand on my heart and just to hold that love. And so thank you so much for that, Brian.
So welcome, brother. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing. I'm glad you felt it, man. Mara, you're up next.
So I was like, it was almost like a meadow where I was, like when I kind of put went to, and I just felt this like sense of self-love as we were going through each body part, just to like even wake ourselves up. It's like I'm so grateful that I can go to the gym almost every day, and well, no, every day, and that what I put my body through in throughout my addiction and like just mental health stuff, that it's still resilient, that it's still strong. And then I realized that, like, yeah, I have learned to love myself, and this community is one of the reasons why. And then also, like, I've been feeling pretty nauseous, and while we were breathing, my stomach was just like, you're hungry, you need to eat something. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do. So it's like my body was just like communicating with me as I was in that state. And then I woke up and I just felt really refreshed and almost like I'm ready for like just anything. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's just like I'm just in the state of bliss right now, and I'm just really grateful for it.
That's amazing. So amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of the community, Mara. Appreciate you very much. Oh, the feels. I'm feeling it. Okay, Megan, you're up next.
So when you took us through, there was one part where you said open the gate or something, and I literally saw the gate of my heart open, and it was like, sorry, I'm gonna get a little emotional.
Yes.
It was like I finally allowed myself to receive the abundance that's coming my way, because I never felt that I deserved good things. And just the outpouring of support and the kind words from people who don't even know me. And I'm not talking even in this group, like at work, people I've never even spoken to have sent me nothing but beautiful messages for this new journey. So it was nice to finally like allow myself to receive good things. And I also had a vision. I'm coming to Vancouver for one of your events. I have no idea when it's happening, but that came through too. So I'm coming to meet you guys.
Absolutely. We would love that. Wow, thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's powerful. Just like how that came about for you. And yeah, receiving can be such a it can be hard, but when we let it happen, it's just so beautiful. I really relate to that, Megan. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the share. And yeah, celebrating you and your journey. You're you're gonna kill it or not kill it, you're gonna thrive it. Trying to change my wording here. You know how everyone's like, this is sick. I'm like, no, it's healthy. It's healthy. Okay. Thank you, Rosanna. Rosanna, yes.
Okay, my internet's unstable. I keep coming in and out. So this is an interesting one. Bay kind of knows this. I've been doing a lot of crying lately. I started a mushroom blend about a month or so ago, and over a year or so now, I've always had this intention like that I need to open up my heart because I'm too much in my mind and not enough in my heart, like always. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. So I'm on this mushroom blend. I've been bawling my eyes out this last month. And then today at yoga, at the end of our Yin Hatha practice, she brought out the sound bowls. And when she came to me, I felt the vibration of the bowl, like the vibrations coming outwards. But then I felt it all centered into my heart. And it was like a different sensation. And when I came out of it at the end, she said, your heart has there's blockages. Like she sensed it. She goes, I can feel the vibrations coming out of the bowl, and it tells me when there's something stuck in someone. And she said, it is your heart. And so it's not a coincidence that we're doing this tonight as well. And it was just very lovely for me. Like I was just crying because more emotions were purging, obviously. But I could feel the gratitude coming in and out of my body. And then at the end, I had a vision of this really ugly, big brown spider. So I got out of the meditation slightly early and I looked up brown spiders, and it says brown spiders can be associated with healing and renewal. Some people believe that brown spiders have the ability to help people heal from physical and emotional injuries and can be seen as symbols of strength and resilience because they're able to thrive in difficult environments. They're known for their ability to build webs that are strong and resilient. This symbolizes the strength and resilience of the human spirit. So there it is. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. You know, people ask me sometimes, actually a client asked me today, are miracles real? And I'm like, yeah, like they happen every single day, all the time. What you just described. It's like if we're willing to open our eyes and see things in a certain way, miracles are all around, everywhere, all the time, you know, synchronicity and stuff. So thanks for sharing that, Rosanna, especially about the heart, you know. It reminds me sometimes too of how sometimes we can maybe be like, oh, my heart's blocked, but it's like it gets blocked so it can be unblocked. That's like what we're you know what I mean? Like we're here so we can go back and all that jazz. You guys know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Rosanna. That was beautiful. Oh, Ricky. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, there we
Okay,
go.
I got it. Okay. Yeah, so for me, I'm really grateful that all these people were able to like have these like blocks unblocked for them. Megan, like I told you before, like you don't understand, like, oh gosh. Like every time I see Meg, I'm just like, how do I like she's such a happy place and a safe place for herself. Like no matter where she goes, she's going to thrive. Like Alberta's getting a gift. But for me, I kind of struggled with the meditation, and I'm not really surprised by it. I have a hard time shutting my brain off. Even if like now that I understand the difference between like the amygdala, beta waves, and things like that, I had a hard time with it. I'm not gonna lie. There was a point in time where a fly was like flying around my head, and I definitely killed it. And I felt guilty about it because I was like, I should be grateful that he's here. Like, like, um, yeah. I don't know, but what Roseanne was saying about the brown spider, it's kind of funny. I've had like an irrational fear of spiders my entire life, and the more everything she said about the spiders in terms of them being like the most like resilient like insect and what do they call it? Arachnids ever. 100% true. Like no matter what environment they're in, they will thrive. Like they're hunters, they're like snipers under the ground. Like it's insane. Because I'm afraid of them, I know quite a bit about them. Face your fear. Sometimes it works, doesn't really work all the time. Made it works for me, but I definitely have a block, and I've been struggling with it for as to how to unblock it. I don't know. I guess I just don't really feel safe all the time. That's my mind is like on a million other things because it's like this is too painful to to like to deal with right now. So it's like, oh, the fly that's not really bothering you, but you have to kill it now. Like things like that. Like trying to like close my eyes and like be grateful for things. Like I don't feel like I'm ungrateful, but I don't know. And it's no reflection on you. Like it's a great meditation that you led. It's just I've always struggled with it, and I don't know how not to struggle with it.
I'm so glad you shared. That's beautiful. I'm so glad you shared. It's like, some, like a lot of times with these types of practices or healing and stuff, there's like, oh my gosh, I like had this big release, and that's really amazing. Like I love that stuff, but this is part of the process too, like what you just shared, Ricky, is so powerful. Like that you're like, yeah, I have a hard time with this. I don't know how to feel this way right now, and this is where I'm at. And I think sometimes in the healing journey, we get so caught up in being healed that we forget that it's like there's no healed place. It's not like we get to healed town and it's like, sweet, welcome to healed town, and we're all healed and everything's healed up. It's like we go through these waves of learning about what it feels like to have more gratitude or more love, but it's a personal thing too. Like for that'll be your own unique way of finding it. But what I'm trying to get around here too is, and what's coming through me is that your willingness to speak to the inability is part of the healing process. And hopefully that's helpful in the sense that like maybe it doesn't make sense now, but the more that you're willing to be like, oh, I don't really know what this is, but I'll keep showing up to discover myself, something will shift, and it's never linear. It's not like 1, 2, 3. It's like 1, 2, 48. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just more of like, why is it not linear? I would like to go and grow. I don't like being in this like shitty, unhealed place. Like I'm very, very aware of my shit, and that's what's really bothering me at this point in time. It's just like it stinks here. I don't like it. I don't want to be here. So
Totally.
like, how do I get out? Like, and then so I guess like it's just stick with it, and eventually it'll happen.
It's like two things usually, because polarity. It's like one, like keep doing stuff up, like keep coming to these calls, keep breathing, keep working on yourself, and at the same time allow it to happen as it does. Like yeah, like I like maybe a share of myself. Like I think I mentioned one of these calls, like struggled with bulimia for many, many, many years, and I worked on it a lot, and so many things that I did, and nothing seemed to work, but I always just believed that it would come to a resolve. It wasn't linear, but I just kept showing up, even despite like there were some times where I was like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get out of this. So it's kind of like this two-pronged thing, and that's when faith comes in. Like I don't really mean faith in like the monotheistic way, but I mean faith in like yourself, like believing that you can get to a place that you want to get to. But it won't be the journey that you expect, and that's a good thing.
I have a tool.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Sina.
So I am very much a T person. T means I live in my head. And I was trying to learn this whole thing about how to feel my feelings. I'm so disconnected with it, didn't know how to do it. The first step was like identifying the feelings with like an emotions chart. Matt's got a great one. He can share it. He'd be gladly to talk about it. But another practice that my therapist gave me at first was just to like, she asked me what brought me joy. And I'm like, oh, like experiences, friends, duh. And she's like, can you say something material? And I'm like, I guess I like flowers. And then she's like, okay, so I want you to buy flowers and every day just sit with it for 3 minutes and set a timer on your phone and basically like create that moment of stillness. And it was funny because I didn't know that the homework was about stillness. I thought it was like, the homework was like to sit with the flowers and feel the feeling of joy in your body and just sit with the flowers and just like joy, and then time's up and that's it. But then and then I went back to the therapist and I was like, oh, I understand. I'm connecting my neural pathways and I'm like creating these pathways of joy and I'm supposed to like leverage it whenever I need it. And she's like, the homework was just to sit in stillness. And so I was like overcomplicating things, trying to make it like logical and trying to like make a plan for healing. And I'm like, I need to fix me. But no, half of it is just, you know, surrender is like the craziest, most difficult thing when yeah, you know. So surrender at 3 minutes at a time with flowers or something else that you want to replace in your own experience. But that's one little technique that could start the practice to make you be like, okay, I can clear my mind for 3 minutes. All right, let's do this. I'll clear my mind for 3 minutes, and then slowly it'll get better and better.
Oh, thank you, Selena.
Thank you so much for that. That was great because I think you get it. Thank you. Well, me right now. Thank you.
One more thing I'll offer, because you just reminded me too, Selena, I'll put it in the chat for anyone, but also for you, Ricky. This book called Letting Go by David R. Hawkins is very amazing, especially with the whole idea of like, you know, like one breath at a time, you know, 3 minutes, like Selena was saying, but this idea of like letting go of the mind. It can be a difficult practice, but hopefully that book will offer some guidance. And we should chat more, Ricky. Let's maybe we jump on a call sometime and chat more about these things. Be happy to do that. But Dev, I know you had your hand up, so I want to make sure you get some light too, brother. Thank you again, Ricky, for your openness. Much appreciated.
Yeah, no, like basically, like I was gonna say the exact same thing that Selena was saying, like just basically surrender, right? Like, but I was in the same place too as you, Ricky, because like I was trying to do the breathing and everything. I'm in my own head about my own stuff too. So I know exactly what you mean. I wasn't there, you know, I kept on fading in and out. I was like in my thoughts, but then coming back to what Brian was saying, and then like hopping back and forth. I'm like, I wasn't in the moment. And that's my whole thing about this month is staying in the moment, right? So no, like I totally get it. Like I'm just saying I can relate, you know, and I'm going through waves too. Like everything's good, and then it just takes that one thing. And like I'm trying to figure out like what is it, you know? And like what's going on? Why is this triggering me so much? Right? But then me trying to force myself to figure out what's going on isn't going to lead to any answers. It's truly surrendering, and that's it. Whatever comes, comes. You just got to be willing to accept the unknown, right? Acceptance is everything, right? It's like, and that's one philosophy I've been trying to work on myself is accepting the unknown, not knowing what's going to happen next, right? And that's okay, you know, because no one knows what's going to happen next, right? You just try to stay in the moment, and that's all you can do, you know, at times. You know, you can't figure out everything. Your brain is wired to problem solve, but like another thing to do, why like to rewire your brain and do cognitive therapy is try brushing your teeth with the opposite hand, you know, building those new attachments and new I'm forgetting the words, but
pathways.
yeah, exactly. And then you train yourself to think differently, right? So yeah, that's all I'm really getting at. And then another thing, yeah, like again, I'm truly grateful for all you guys and knowing that we all have our own thing, you know. So that's another thing I'm truly grateful for. And all these calls, you know, it's a true blessing for me. So yeah, that's all I got.
Thank you, Dev. That was mad bars, man. It's really good. Yeah, this is the power of this us coming together, right? And I think it's also important, you know, I kind of alluded to it as well, that like even though Matt and I and Bay and, you know, Selena were like putting these on, like we got shit. I come across as this like holy, peaceful, you know, like Brian on a shrine, but you guys don't see when I'm in my shit. And trust me, it's like I'm not I get into my cycles, into my stuff like every day, every single day. So and I share that not for sympathy, but so we can see each other as what we are, right? The human experience is this constant ebbing and flowing. Every day there's beauty, every day there's pain. I think it's like it's the way we ask ourselves questions about things and the way that we look at things that make it You know how the mystics say like life is so beautiful all the time. Well, that only becomes from a perspective, right? Because and asking ourselves like when really hard shit comes your way, I like to ask myself like, how is this for me? What is here for me? What lesson is here, and what is like life trying to bring me towards? But yeah, just want to mention that as well. Like we got shit, and we need this as much as you guys. That's like why we do this, because we, yeah, we want to make this world a better place, and we want to heal and grow with you. So thank you guys so much. Powerful stuff. My goodness. Yeah, Matt, close it off. I'm too emotional.
All right, guys. Yep. I love you all so much. Vulnerability is the currency of relationships. I'm so grateful for you guys. Like when I was like saying like, yeah, and who are you grateful for? I was like, oh, you and you and you and you and you and you. It's like, oh, they're all here. And so, yeah, like at the end of the day, you know, Ricky, if you're not sure what to do, just take a couple breaths and be grateful for some people that you love. It that is the process, you know? It's like simple 3 minutes with a flower, thinking and just being grateful for all these people. It's that's you know, that's it. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 20 steps forward, 19 steps back, 100 steps forward. It's like that's the wave that we go on. And so it's just about showing up, and you guys all showing up. It really means the world to us, seriously. And yeah, I love you guys all so much. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Deb. Awesome share. Thank you, Megan. Awesome share. You got us all that time for sure. Thank you, Eric, brother. So good to see you. Thank you, Selena. Love you. Dropping the wisdom. More of that, please. Thank you, Bay. Your presence is a present. Thank you, Ricky. Again, amazing. It's so great to see you opening up more. I know it means the world to all your friends and to me as well. Thank you, Mara. Love you. And Talene, welcome. This is what the calls are about. So thank y'all so much. Love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Mwah.